Welcome in, everyone. We have a very interesting update about a potential trade war confronting the cartels with Mexico, Canada, and much more. It is crazy that we already have an update so soon about what really will start as a trade war from all signs and points at this point in time, even though we did get a month delay, which we're going to talk about, and really what this means for the future. Before we get into all of that, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. And most importantly, comment with your thoughts about how you expect this situation to play out. So first off, remember President Trump, in an attempt to incentivize the Mexicans and the Canadians to play ball and to close down the borders from each respective side, because believe it or not, people do come in from Canada. Drugs do come in from Canada. Mexico, of course, is where the serious concern is. That's where the cartels are. That's where a lot of the violence you see is coming from. And, of course, there's the connection to the Chinese CCP, which allows chemicals used for drugs to float across the ocean, sail across the ocean, get to Mexico, and then that is used to produce all sorts of different carnage and pain that is then pushed across the border here to the U.S. So originally, Trump was going to slap massive 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada in an attempt to incentivize them to get to work, get their stuff squared away on their sides of the border in order to help us out. Because the truth of the matter is, the United States cannot do it all. We can't have countries on our borders that allow garbage to be pushed over, that allows garbage to come after us, that allows these drug cartels to do whatever they want. These people have to be invested in their own security, especially the Mexicans, who, again, are aligned and linked with the Chinese CCP to some degree. And as President Trump has said in the past, there's plenty of reason to believe that the cartel has heavy influence in politics within Mexico, which is obviously a very corrupt country. So he said, I'm going to put on a 25% tariff. Mexico responded by saying, hey, we'll send 10,000 troops to the border. We'll work with you. That's why you see the drone flights, the spy flights, 7 Special Forces group going down there. So Mexico has made what they thought was an effort to help. Canada also pretty much did the same thing, that they're going to create this task force. They're going to stop the flow of drugs, stop the flow of fentanyl. Well, apparently, it's not good enough for Trump, because this is a report from Christian Daytalk of the Washington Examiner. Now, I must be front with everyone. I'm always honest with you all. Christian and I used to work together. We played on the same softball team. We worked together at a place called the Daily Caller for a few years. Great guy. He's very plugged in. He knows what he's talking about. Former baseball standout himself. Fun dude. Got nothing but good things to say about him. He's a good source. So if Christian's saying something, you can believe it to be accurate. Unlike, some of the fake news media out there, Christian knows what he's talking about. He tweeted February 26th in the afternoon. First, he said that, okay, now Trump and Lucknow are saying Canada-Mexico tariffs are going into effect on April 2nd. Then he did a follow-up quote tweet, which I'll throw up on the screen here, where he says, a White House official now tells me, barring some type of major breakthrough in negotiations on border and fentanyl, the Canada and Mexico 25% tariffs will go into effect on March 4th. Original deadline, post-Trump's 1-month pause, reciprocal tariffs, and more to be announced on April 2nd. So that is the reporting from Christian Daytalk over at the Washington Examiner, that Trump is going to slap these tariffs back on. Now, there's still time. There is, a week and a half-ish, 10 days-ish. That's what you're looking at for a deal to happen, to where Trump does not have to put these tariffs back on, to where the Mexicans could do even more. And let's really focus on the Mexico side of the border. What can Mexico do that would get Trump to say, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to put a 25% tariff on you. I'm not going to rattle your economy in a big way. What could he do, what could Claudia Sheinbaum, or however you pronounce her last name, the leader of Mexico, do in order for these tariffs to be delayed? Well, there's one clear answer. They can send more troops to the border and get more involved with dealing with the cartels. That is what this is about. We've been very clear about that. The United States government has been crystal clear. The tariffs on Mexico are about getting them to secure the border from their side, getting them to put an end to the flow of people coming into our country and going after the drug cartels. Now, could that be them sharing more information with us? Could that be them directly targeting the drug cartels themselves using information we gathered from the Reaper drones? It absolutely could be, and I'm sure to some degree, if they did that, that would make the Trump administration very happy. Here's what also it could be. It could be Mexico inviting the United States in a broader sense inside Mexico with the military to conduct surgical operations, very specific targeting. I always talk about taking out leaders, taking out manufacturing, taking out stockpiles. It could be that, because remember, folks, we have flooded the border with supplies, military supplies. Elite troops are down there, not just to secure the border, but to also provide a credible deterrent to anyone in the cartels who might be thinking about doing something insanely stupid, right? We are making sure they don't do that. And it gives us the option that if Trump does say, hey, I want to go in, they're ready to go right away. They've got the intel packages. They've got the men in position. They know exactly what they're going to hit. Now, we might give the targets to the Mexicans and say, you don't want these tariffs to go into effect? Fine. Go take out this area. Go take out this weapons stockpile. Go take out this fentanyl-producing lab. And if the Mexicans do it, Trump might say they're being better partners than they have been historically, and we don't need to put the tariffs on. The risk you run with that is, again, Mexico's a very corrupt government, incredibly corrupt. If we give them information about locations of cartel leaders or locations of labs, money, whatever it might be, what are the odds someone is going to tip them off that we're coming or that the Mexican government's coming? Pretty high. And we have historical examples of this. The biggest one would be the Osama bin Laden raid. The Osama bin Laden raid was done without the Pakistanis knowing about it because the belief was Pakistani ISI will leak to people in contact with bin Laden or directly to bin Laden. And by the time the SEAL Team 6 operators show up, he's going to be long gone. Same exact concern you have here. If we tell the Mexican government, hey, we know these guys are in this location, they're in this area, they're wherever they might be, there is a real chance, a very real chance, that by the time our operators show up or Mexican operators show up, they're long gone. But that's the actions Trump is trying to apply here. He is trying to force Mexico, because we're a superpower, we're the strongest economic and military power on the planet. He is trying to force them to play ball. And if they don't want to play ball, he's going to kick around their economy. He's going to rattle their economy. That's just the way it is. You can disagree with it or agree with it. I'm just telling you what it is. He views tariffs as a negotiating tactic. And what he wants out of the Mexicans is direct results when it comes to shutting down the border and dealing with the drug cartels. And if they can give him that, there's a good chance he'll call those tariffs off before March 4th. If they don't, the tariffs are going to go into effect, and then the Mexican economy is in big trouble. Canada, he just wants them to do whatever he says. That's a much less complex situation. Maybe they'll be the 51st state. Who knows? But it's Mexico that these tariffs are really about. And if Mexico doesn't want these tariffs, they'll lock down the border like they're told to do. It's that simple. They'll go after the cartels like they're told to do. That's it. We'll see if it happens. We'll have an update for you if it does. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below with how you'd like to see Trump handle both Mexico and Canada. And as always, I'll catch you next time.